education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
For life's finest moments, celebrate them with Skoal Premium Lager. Pure malt, pure class, pure perfection. Skoal, class and perfection in a bottle.
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom apper today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very late. I am late because, look, let me tell you guys, when you are on a computer, you get hooked, you get addicted, and you begin to do work, and then you lose sense of time. And computer is very good, but it gets you addicted. And then moving through the traffic, I believe we are very modernized. And you calculate time, but you can't always be exact because of the stoplights under this, under that. Of course, you can calculate to be there earlier and so on. I apologize to my listeners for being late today. I want to let you know that this is Freedom FM 106.5. Our listeners say we are world-class radio at its best. We are broadcasting from Sugar City, St. Kitts. And this is Issues with your host, Coach Adrian. And as usual, it is great to have you on my show. So we are going to go right through. Let's just do a little housekeeping before we go into the topic. I want to apologize to my valued listeners for delaying our talk show on the IMF October 2025 World Economic Outlook. I have to delay it a second time because it is true that the World Economic Outlook is about quality of life more than it's about the growth of economies by region. But the U.S. deportation program and the implication for the Caribbean countries and for our Caribbean brothers and sisters are about not just quality of life, but about survival, and in some cases, it's a matter of life and death. And I'm going to give you some data about that. This is why I am impressed. I feel spirit-led to stay on the issue for one more talk show. to stay on the issue for one more talk show. And our issues that I started last week on that particular program, vaccine issue, is creating an acceptable social and economic environment for our returning Caribbean nationals deported from the United States of America. That's what we are talking about. Giving our brothers and sisters a fair opportunity to resettle and to make a productive contribution to the Caribbean and to St. Kitts and Nevis, the base from where we speak. You see, friends, the plight of persons deported out of the United States, out of the United Kingdom in particular, they are well documented by international organizations such as the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, the Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and the American Civil Liberties Union. There are a number of other organizations that are watching and that are monitoring those kind of programs, but I just call a few. As at October 2025, so we are talking very recent, 23 detainees had died in the custody of the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement called ICE. 23 persons from January to December, according to the official data, have died, or at least many are declared missing, but these 23 have certified dead. So please note carefully, a deported person retains ownership of his asset in the United States. If the person is in New York, Atlanta, Florida, Michigan, wherever you are, whatever state, the person is most likely to have gained assets, whether it is personal belongings or the person might have owned a house, a car, a bank account, or the person might have had an investment portfolio. But how does he get access to them or manage them once he is arrested, raided, and detained, and worse still, if he is sent to a third country, like I mentioned last week, not to his home country? How does he ever get access to this asset that he is brutally detached from? Can he appoint, in his situation, in his plight, can he appoint a trustee to manage his finances? Just ponder on that. Can he appoint an agent? Can he appoint someone with powers of attorney to manage his loans and bills and his house and his investment or whatever? How could he have? He couldn't have. He didn't know he would have been arrested. He didn't know he would have been arrested. If he was caught up in church or if he was taken on the work floor, he wouldn't have anticipated that. In fact, if he is sent to a third country that is not his home country, in many cases, he might really, in a sense, one can say, he is given a death sentence. Now, here are the realities. Here are the realities. And I went through a lot of documents by ICE. I went through a lot of official documents of those international organizations that I have mentioned. I went into a lot of documents, published information from recognized newspapers in America. And these are the realities. The social barriers, that is, if he's sent to a third country or even his home country, the social barriers make work difficult for him to find and to retain. Oh yes, because he's coming down and he is already labeled a deportee, and deportee carries, as I did detail in the labeling theory last week, it carries the overtone of a criminal. So he is overtone as a criminal or perceived as a criminal, or he's perceived as a failure. So because he is wrongly seen as a criminal or a failure, employers are reluctant to hire him. That's the reality. And we know that. Even our prisoners, I have a number of ex-prisoner friends here, and a lot of friends, and they have difficulty. They can't get work. They cannot get job. And even if they get a job, it is some kind of sideways job. But they can hardly get a job into the official market and whatever. And because the label precede them in everything that they do. Secondly, talking about the returnees. Remember, I said I prefer to use the word returnees, and I try not to use the word deportees, particularly in the context of the American label or the UK label. I try not to do that. Now, if he is kidnapped, remember, I explained in a previous talk show how they are taken. They can be raided, they can be kidnapped, they can be arrested, and I gave you all the different places that they can and whatever. And if you have your computer and you have your mobile phone, you see what is happening daily. You go on MSN and you see daily the news, and you see all the suffering. It's like, for some people, it's a kind of persecution. It's a kind of persecution. It's a kind of relentless persecution. Yes. So if he's kidnapped, he would have little or no valid national identification, of course. So if he's kidnapped and is sent down to St. Kitts, or St. Lucia, or Grenada, or Barbados, or Guyana, he would have very little identification or professional credentials except what he carried in his wallet. Well, we don't even know when they arrest them, if they take their wallets from them. I don't know. Because basically you are treated as a thing. It's like slavery again. Some of our forefathers who came from Africa, they were kingly, they were royal people. But it didn't matter. Once they were taken, they were treated as things. And the law in which jurisdiction they would find themselves would define them as a thing, just like a garden fork or machete or dog. Mm-hmm. So it means, therefore, he cannot get formal employment. He cannot open a bank account. I am taking my time on that, because after having the program last week, I met some people. A number of people were very excited and they were happy that I was dealing with that issue. Some people didn't really care. That's how things are. When things are bright, everybody cares because they can get something from you. They can get barrel, they can get money, and so on. So when you are depressed, when things are bad, and as we say in St. Lucia, when you get down on your backside, nobody wants to see you. Nobody wants to see you. But I would suggest to my good listeners, if you would look at a beautiful masterpiece by Sidney Poitier called A Raisin in the Sun. And it's a beautiful movie. It's a classic. I have it in my, what I call my black classic folder. And during the script, when Sidney got himself in problem, and Sidney had spent the money that was not his and spent it wrongly on gambling, and it didn't work, I think, on a liquor store. And the family was in desperate situation. The mother made a point, and I never forget that. She asked the question, when do you love him? Is it when he is good? Is it when he is bright? Is it when he brings all the money? Is it when he gives all the kind of privilege and power, and he gives all the goodies to the house? She said, no. You love him the most when he is at his lowest. I've never forget that. She said, you love him the most when he is at his lowest. So going back to that, if he's kidnapped, therefore, he cannot get access to a bank account. In many cases, the shock of the raid or the arrest and the shock of the return, even if he's returned to his home country, the separation from his immediate family. Because, if he was taken at work, the family expected him to come back at 4, after 4, 5, and back home. And that, so it's a kind of a rupture. It's a rupture. And the feeling of rejection, just think of it. This could lead to mental health issues, such as depression, stress, and these things, of course, combine to affect his ability to seek for work and to retain the work. People are not things. People are made in the image of God. People are made in the image of God. People are less, and people are less in a sense of baked in emotions, blood. So it's not like taking a stone and throwing it over there, and then later on the project you find a place for that stone, maybe after 6 months of building, and you use it because the stone can't talk back to you. Oftentimes, the returnee's skill set do not align with the local labor market needs. Say, for example, he might have been quite a skilled guy in America, or maybe he was working in some heavy-duty company, and maybe he was in some high-tech. And the labor market in his home country does not have the demand for that kind of skill set. So that, of course, becomes even more depressing. So even if he were to get a job, basically, he does not fit for the job, or he is not qualified for the particular job. Now, some returnees have difficulty finding home. And I say, quote-unquote, home. That's very important. Some of them have difficulty finding home, in that some of them may come down, and I have examples of that, particularly returnees from the UK during the Windrush, and they went down to to their country. I have the example of Jamaica, and they have no connection with anybody because they do not know anybody else except somebody in England. And they have really no connection with cousin, uncle, brother in the local jurisdiction, the local place. And therefore, now, so these people are basically, they're excluded. Now, also, you may have the connection. You may know of the cousin and the uncle and whatever, or distant cousin or uncle or distant brother and so on. But in a sense, you are excluded because you don't fit. And it could very well be too that you did not have that close relationship with them before you were sent out of America. So in a sense that they may even accept you, but it's going to take some time before you become quote-unquote family, before you become quote-unquote family. So they cannot fit in. They cannot fit in. They cannot fit in with the boys on the block. No, because the boys on the block have their own perception of them. They have their own idiosyncrasies. And they cannot fit in with the crowd. They can't fit in with the crowd. And of course, they may very well come down with very little to wear. And so they're not trendy and whatever. And they just can't. So they have difficulty fitting in that new society, even if it is their home. And so we are really talking about serious applied sociology. And last time I said, and I'll repeat, lest we forget, many of the returnees to the Caribbean were victims of economic deprivation. They were people who left seeking a better way, seeking a better life for their family, for their wives, for their children, for mothers, for fathers, for grandfathers, for uncles, and so on. Yes, so in a sense, they were daring. Now, of course, they went on a visitor's visa, and they did not get a work visa, but the trend was you take the work as it comes. And in fact, the trend was you go up there and you work, and at least for the 6 months, and you come back, others stay. And those who are privileged, they stay, and they get official stay, whatever. So in a sense, remember that those people did not just escape, but they left looking for something better for themselves and the people that they left behind. And last time I reminded us that we know the benefit that we got from them. The remittances, the flows that came from them in the form of cash or kinds, or as it is well known in St. Kitts, the barrels during the year and at Christmas, etc. And those monies that they sent, they paid the mortgages, they paid rents, they paid debt, they serviced debts, they took care of medical expenses, and medical expenses can get you out to a pauper these days. They paid school fees, they made sure that there was food on the table, electricity bills were paid, the electricity, Skellig did not cut the electricity, cable did not cut the cable so that the children could enjoy a little entertainment in the house, they can be connected to the rest of the world, and some of them also send down money to pay the child support. So let's not forget about that. So all that was by way of introduction. Today, in conclusion, last week we spoke about what the community should do. Today, we are going to conclude and we'll talk about what the government can do and what big business can do to help resettle our returning Caribbean nationals as painlessly as possible. So, let me formally begin now. Let's talk about what the government can do. And when we say the government, we mean the government in the Caribbean, but we are placing emphasis on returnees that come to St. Kitts. Now, we are not calling on Caribbean governments to pick a fight with America. No, we can't do that. You can't win. You can't pick a fight with America. You can't win. The fight that is going on in international trade is between big boys. The European Union, China, and America. And you're there to keep yourself away from that as much as possible. You are nothing. You are little satellites that are dependent. So you be careful with that. And that is why at the UN, in most of those cases, we were taught at university, little satellite countries should abstain. Abstain. You abstain. In other words, you are not for Harry, not for Dick. But you know where you stand. So we are asking Caribbean leaders to tell the people what is happening. Now, that's important. That is very, very important. Tell the people what is happening. Educate the people so that they can make intelligent decisions on their brothers and sisters who are being sent back to the country. By and large, Caribbean governments try to withhold any information that they think will make them unpopular in the eyes of voters. That's how Caribbean leaders behave. That's how they behave. We went to school, we discussed that, and after so many years, that's what the people are still doing. Yeah, anything that will make them popular, they believe that they're going to get a good number of votes on that. It will make their image look good. They talk about that, and they want a press conference. Anything that is going to have a little negative effect or may move people away from voting from them, they either keep silent on that or they try to kill it. So deportation issue to many is a negative. It's a negative. I don't know why, because it is not the fault of any minister of national security or any prime minister that the people are being deported. So I don't see the negative. I don't see it. Some Caribbean governments, however, are more open than others. And I would like to single them. I have done my research. I have read from them. Prime Minister Mayor Mortley, she's an example. She's a beautiful woman. I love her very much. Barbados. Roosevelt Skerritt from Dominica, Andrew Holness from Jamaica, Philip J. Pierre, St. Lucia, Ralph Gonzague, the senior Caribbean nationalist from St. Vincent and Grenada, and Terence Drew from St. Kitts. These stand out. These people stand out because they have come out to speak to the people, and they have sought out to make at least some preparation. Not that all of them have done enough, but at least those have dared to come out of their shell. Caribbean governments must openly demonstrate preparedness on two levels. One, they must create an enabling receptacle. I call it an enabling receptacle for the returning nationals. And two, they must plan how to deal with the additional demands on the social services and the labor market that will be caused by those additional the returnees into the society. But let's talk about the first one, creating an enabling receptacle for the returning nationals. The first order of business is for Caribbean governments to demonstrate to the people that they are doing something about the development. They have to demonstrate that. They not just cover it. Leaders of government agencies and security forces, they must create that enabling environment to reestablish them, to re-assimilate them into the country of their birth. That is critical. Now, of course, I have explained the trauma that they are already feeling because it's like being uprooted as things. So, government must not do anything to create a state of panic. Government must not do anything to create a state of panic or to trigger hostility in the society. Now, that is very, very, very important. Government, by their posture and by their message and by their attitude and by their information or misinformation or non-information, must not do anything to trigger hostility in the society against those returnees. What do we mean by that? I think one of the ways that government do that is to diffuse misinformation. Government must diffuse misinformation. And my research shows that there is one example of a massive misinformation that is published in the social media. And one of them is published in Carib Direct on February 4th, 2025. And it is headlined 42,000 Caribbean deportations from the U.S., a crisis for the Caribbean. That's what the text says. It says 500 for St. Lucia, 400 for Grenada, 300 for Antigua, 250 for Dominica, 200 for St. Kitts and Nevis. The writer used what I call, in statistics, wild estimates based on population approximation and deportation estimates generated from ICE, and they also use data from advocacy groups, and they try to come and put together some kind of numbers, and they attribute to each of the countries. That is, and then they popularize that, and people are reading that, and people are looking at that, and that is creating panic in the Caribbean. All this is what I call how to lie with statistics. It is pure lies, and not only that, the data manipulation is unreliable. The data manipulation is not adequate, and simply the data is misinformation, pure misinformation. Now, why government cannot prevent those camps? I agree, they cannot prevent those camps, but the way to kill such misinformation is to give timely, correct information. And that's the point I'm making. Now, you cannot prevent people from putting things and putting mad things and crazy things and disturbing things and destabilizing things on the social media. But what you can do, and that is the beautiful thing I learned, after 20 years of central banking and having been the privilege of school in the IMF, we learned one thing I never forget about the counterfeit dollar. You don't teach nobody about counterfeit dollar. You don't. You don't waste people time, weeks and months, how to detect a counterfeit dollar and this and that and that and that. Well, this is good. But what do you teach them? You teach them to identify the true dollar. You teach to identify, to have a perfect knowledge of the true dollar. So once you have a perfect knowledge of the true dollar, the counterfeit is gone. And that goes for anything, whether it is economics, whether it is theology, whatever. All you need to know is to know the true thing. If you know the ideal, typical type, you don't carry the pseudo. You don't carry the pseudo. Because it is in that sense I am saying that the government, therefore, falls short if it does not counteract that by giving timely and correct information. So, in other words, in St. Kitts, what am I saying? Let the government of Dr. Drew, let the government use the Government Information Service and ZIZ to do their work that they're supposed to do. In other words, bring the correct information to the people. That is one of the ways to diffuse the scam. So, with respect to ICE deportation, recent data from the U.S. does not provide a specific breakdown of the quote-unquote deportees or the listed persons for deportation to the Caribbean. But according to the U.S. Immigration and Customs database, it says that, and I'm quoting that, according to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE report as at November 2024. Notice I say 2024 because I don't have data. There is data for the entire world, but there is no breakdown of data for the Eastern Caribbean or CARICOM. But there is data as back as 2024, November. And at that time, it says a total, I'm quoting that, a total of 42,349 individuals from CARICOM countries were listed for deportation. Of that number, 222 for St. Lucia, 127 for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 68 for St. Kitts and Nevis, 110 for Antigua and Barbuda, 5,100 for Jamaica, 1,200 for Guyana. On February 18th, 2022, that was the end of quote, but then I'm giving additional information. On February 18, 2024, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit reported that 104 Dominicans were identified to be evicted from the United States, end of quote. Trinidad and Tobago received 17 in May, 5 in June, and 21 in August. As at 24th May 2025, the St. Lucian government had received 5, according to Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre. Local authorities in St. Kitts, they confirm that 9 has arrived from January to May. You are listening to Freedom FM 106.5. I'm going to take a break. We are going to take an advertisement break. And after the break, I'm going to open the line so that you can give us your education, you can give us your response, you can give us your suggestion.
For life's finest moments, celebrate them with Skoal Premium Lager. Pure malt, pure class, pure perfection. Skoal, class and perfection in a bottle.
Reliable, dependable, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low-interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Hey, Webmaster here. I stay connected to Freedom with the Freedom SKN app. Simply search for the Freedom app in the Android's Play Store or the Apple's App Store and download it. Enjoy world-class radio at its best, anytime, anywhere. Become a Freedom Apper today.
Welcome back. You are listening to Freedom FM 106.5. We are broadcasting from Sugar City, St. Kitts. This is Issues with Coach Adrian. The time is 18 minutes after 2 o'clock. We are looking at the topic, how to create the enabling and the productive environment for the returnees that are coming out of the United States. And we are looking at today what the government of Dr. Terence Drew can do to help settle these people. And we are, of course, by reference, saying the same thing to people in the rest of the Caribbean. And if we have time, we are going to look at what is it that big business can do to help resettle these people in the country of their birth. The phone line is open. The numbers to call is 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. The numbers are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. Now, foreigners from... Okay, you're on air, please. If you're on air, we take you. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sylvain. How do you do?
Well, boy, what you working with the detective? How you know, Sylvie?
I know, man. I know your voice so well, man. Man, you know, man. I know you, man. I love you so much. I must know your voice, man.
You are my shepherd.
How you doing, man? How you doing? How you feeling today?
I'm giving God thanks in everything, you know.
Good. So you
think about some of the countries they're going through.
Let me tell you something, man. I mean, you are Caribbean.
Let me deal with this deportation thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but I used to do prison ministry.
Yes.
16 years to the female.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me.
I would walk through the prison and carry books and stuff for the male.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our church was down at Salpan Alley.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the young men used to hang out there. And there was one particular one. He used to make it every Saturday morning we have jungle sale.
Mm-hmm.
He would say, Miss Henry, I'm going to show you something. And he would, on his phone, you know.
Yes.
He was doing a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Ambitious. Of course, the other child.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, deportee. This deportee.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them who calling them deportee, they just escape.
Right.
Because the majority of our people who went to the Virgin Islands in the 60s and 70s overstayed.
That's correct.
You know, and I said give people a chance.
That's correct. And I don't know if you remember, there was a very big problem in St. Croix during and John Compton in St. Lucia had to go up there to talk on behalf of his people. I don't know if you remember that.
Well, let me tell you one, because my brother was living in St. Croix.
Mm-hmm.
And in St. Croix, they were rounding up people,
Right.
Antigua, maybe one of the birds, the guy was in Mr. Bratcher time, so he would have been one of the birds. Went down and begged the governor to give the people from Antigua a break because they have no work at home.
Mm-hmm.
Which they did. The kitchens and divisions were looking for the same treatment.
Mm-hmm.
The representatives sent them home. We got cane to cut.
You serious?
I am telling you.
Well,
Mr. Bratcher held a meeting. My brother was in the meeting.
Well,
He said, look, the people were shocked because only cane was here to cut.
Mm-hmm.
And the standard was very low. And even though you were overstaying, you could have eat hot dog, what I mean, things that they couldn't eat at home.
Yeah, but they were working for Hess. Remember, they were working for Hess. And I remember that, they come with the cruise and rum, they do everything.
Yeah, I tell you.
Compton went up there, and when Compton came back, by the time Compton came back, people from St. Lucia were nice up there. They didn't have to come back, they were nice.
I tell you, the man...
So who was that? That was
always
what?
angry.
Labour in power or PAM? Which one was in power?
Labour, that was in those days was only Labour, you know.
Oh, that was under what?
The 60s, in the 60s. Maybe that PAM. That PAM.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, people knowing the condition that they had escaped,
Yes.
and to hear the leader say, well, send them home because we have cane to cut.
Yeah,
My brother never forgot it.
yeah, backward.
But what I am saying now, you see Dr. Timothy Harris,
Yes.
say what you wish. You know what they call them, paying criminal to behave?
Yeah. Say it again. I don't get you clear. Say it again.
Dr. Timothy Harris,
Yes, take your time, yeah.
they had this plan that where they were paying what they consider to be, or they're paying the
Yeah,
gangsters.
that is the peace initiative, yes. Mm-hmm.
A number of them were deportees, you know.
Yes, I
Who
learned
couldn't
that.
get to
I
work.
did, yeah. Yes, that is correct. Yes.
And
yes.
they gave some of them a chance to go to the development bank
Mm-hmm.
to get loans to start their business.
Yes.
Because since they can't get no work and if nobody want to hire them,
Yeah.
you know, even for low wages.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have businesses today, growing businesses.
Yeah, man. And these are the things I want to talk about when you through. That's continue telling me. And I know about that.
That's what I'm telling you.
Mhm.
So sometimes we keep them, they have all kind of skills, you know, you talk to them.
Mhm.
You see, sometimes the police contribute to it.
Yes.
Oh, them deportees, this and them deportees, this.
Yeah. Yes.
And them they thief. Not necessarily to thief. They shoot.
Yeah, but they're not the only one who thief, you know, because there are more thief in the society. Some of them have white shirts and some of them have suits.
You want
and,
to,
and some of them are thief, you know, and I know that. And some of them are big thief. And the
don't
poor
even tell
people,
me
there are
because
people who are in prison for them.
Don't tell me because I know I've seen the evidence.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to tell you, my good family, Eli, the truth. He just said, when we deal with the white collar crime, then we go call people something. You know, and some of the families then got to be a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you said, some of them got barrels, you know.
How do you think some of them got barrels?
Lord, I tell you, when barrel come, some of them they could have macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
They put in shoes, any little thing they get, they throw in.
They put everything, man. They even put little TV at the bottom of the barrel because they know the custom officer ain't going so deep. I know all these tricks.
Yeah, you know. So we got to be a little more compassionate.
All the expensive things,
right?
all the expensive watches and everything like that. They are at the bottom of the barrel. Yes.
So the people up there, no, look, my family can't afford this.
No.
When they got sale in America, they go to the sale and buy. This is my cousin. And when they come, they could well check them in.
Yeah, well, the businessmen told me and the procurement managers told me that by this Christmas and the New Year, we'll begin to see the effects of the unemployment on there and the issue of the whole uncertainty. We're going to feel it. Yeah.
Hotels and some jobs are seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
That carry them through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what they should do, you got AVIC, right? Let me go to AVIC.
Yeah.
Some of them have skills.
Yeah.
Send them to AVIC to update their skill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get counselors for them because they need counselors, eh?
Mm-hmm.
The rejection could be great, you know.
Yes.
Just like when somebody come from prison and everybody, oh, you little old thief, and you know, even any person change.
Okay. Now,
Just
Sylvain, you're going to have to call me back because I want to say some things there. And call me back. Say some things there, and there are some people who are going to come.
Good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And that's important. So there are a number of things that now the things that I'm going to suggest here, these are things that from my research that other governments and other groups are doing. One, they said the government should give them access to health care. And that is important because some of them, of course, would be coming with health problems. So they must give them access to health care. And then, of course, if they are coming penniless, and that is they have all the assets tied up in America and they have no direct access to it, you have to find a way to give them access to Social Security benefit. I don't know how you're going to do that, but you have to let the Board of Social Security, let the technocrats and the bureaucrats put their heads together and based on what they are doing for people right here, and they are returning nationals, do something for them. We need to assist them in getting their own passport. Assist them in getting their passport, their driver's license, and whatever. Now, it is critical that they get a driver's license because a lot of the work that they're looking for, they would be able, they would need to be able to drive and so on. Help them get a business license. For example, I think Sylvain was making the very great point there, and we have to give credit to Dr. Harris for his initiatives. And some of these initiatives, when I lived in Jamaica, that was practiced also in Jamaica. I lived in Jamaica for a few years, and that was not something just came new. So in a sense, it is not something that the administration was doing just to prevent people from committing crime and so on. I mean, people see it like that, but it was that kind of enterprise overtone or underpinning. That is what I know in the case of Jamaica it's all about. Now, the same way, you have to be careful with that. For example, when people say, oh, the CBI, we are giving people citizenship. That's a nice way of saying it. Now, I'm just trying to put the two together, juxtapose them. You say, yes, you're giving people citizenship. But in essence, you're selling passport. Now, you don't want to hear that because it sounds derogatory. But it's the same way. So in the peace initiative, with the industrial overtone and underpinning, that is lost because then people prefer to say they are paying people not to commit crime. Now, that is not to say that this may not have a kind of contribution to that. But the point is that this is part of the parcel of the things that government can do so to resettle and to reassimilate the returnees into their home country. So, for example, help them to get through a fast-track business license. All the intricacies of whatever, you kind of modify that. They will need soft capital. They'll need soft capital. Because they don't have money. They need soft capital, so they will need a loan that has certain nice conditionalities, and maybe like SIDF used to do during my time, that we give them a loan at no interest. We give them about 4 or 5 years to pay, and because they have to incubate, they have to take time to grow the business, you give them some moratorium. You are built-in moratorium, meaning that they have a year or 2 years when they do not have to pay the loan, so while they are growing the business. So you are trying to resettle them. And of course, more importantly, you set business shepherds over them. You set business shepherds over them, people who can handhold them, people who can monitor them, people who can shepherd them, people who can go through the process with them. That is very, very important. You can't leave them on their own. The same way, in fact, any business, in small and medium-sized business, you don't leave them on their own. You must have that angel with them to handhold them, to support them. I thought the SEED program of the SIDF was a magnificent program. Not because I was part of it, but the success stories there. A number of the successful businesses in Nevis and St. Kitts. In fact, I just called like New Cleaning this morning. Say, boy, he's going to come and power wash my house for me. And like New Cleaning have become such a powerhouse now. They have expanded, they have formed other groups with, and they are doing a great job. Coffee is doing a great job. That is great. So you got to have those kind of ill-being support with, and of course that calls for a certain methodology. It calls for methodology, not a matter of just giving people's loan and whatever. You have to have the right persons to shepherd them. You have to have the the people to handhold them, and you have people to make sure that they understand, or people to do their books. And we never allow them to do their books. We allow them to separate accounting from production. So they're only responsible for production. So you have one accountant who goes to the several of them, say 4, 5, 6 of them. He collects all the bills, all the receipts, and so on, and he handles that. That's important. So government should help them to have access to their properties and their assets in the U.S. And you have to help them to do that. Yes, they must be able to find a way, because how will they get access to the bank account that they have in the U.S.? The house that they left over there, how do they get that? How do they get access to the investment that perhaps that they have over there? So government have to, or the agencies have to help them. Now, also their credentials, for example, their certificates and whatever. Maybe they have their certificates and whatever, you help them. So there must be, government has to create that kind of enabling environment so as to give them that support. Now, what can big business do to help resettle the returnees? That's important, you know. Is there a role for big business? Is there a role for the market to help them resettle, to help them reassimilate, and to help them become productive citizens? Just think of that. Because let me just say something. You know, there is an underlying hypocrisy in our Caribbean society. Yes, there is an underlying hypocrisy, you know. Now, I think we are all guilty of that, and we need to expose it. Yes, every society, as you know, have their own SKN. Yes, the system, the market, the opinion setters, the big men, but they continue to punish them because they refuse, if they come from jail, they refuse to give them a job. So by not giving them a job, what you are actually doing is you are dehumanizing them, and you are preventing them from feeling like a man. And the Caribbean man is a man who wants to feel like a man. But what you are doing, therefore, you are pushing him into a cycle of crime. So 9 out of 10, they are going back to jail. And then you say, oh, he's going back to jail. Of course he's going back to jail, because you and I did nothing to help him to resettle and to feel like a human being and to feel like a man. No, you didn't do that. But if he had come from a big family, a rich family, you all tried to do everything to make him look good. What such hypocrisy in the society, such hypocrisy. So I know very well, and I teach that, and I say that all to my clients and so on. Business is about bottom line. Yes, we agree. And that's what we teach. Business is about profit. Business, that is my byword. Business is about cash flow, productivity, fitness for the job. Business is about doing what you have to do to make sure the operation remains in operation. So yes, business is not about welfare. It's not about charity. But now, here's the obvious. The same community that have made your local business a household name, the same community that have made the business woman or the businessman rich, the same community that have patronized your business in sun or rain, in bad time or good time, in poverty and in want, is called upon. Now you are called upon to show a compassionate face while you make sure you make your profit. And while I am thinking of that, 2 things come to my mind. In fact, 2 names come to my mind, and 2 businesses. and I'm going to mention it. The first name that came to my mind is my good friend Michael Morton. The management style of Michael Morton of TDC. The other one that comes to my mind is the management style of our late friend Kishu of Rams. Those people, they made the money, they made profit, but those people, if you look at their track record, these people actually, they developed people. They made people, they made the society. That is why their business is a household name. And I remember Mikey was here with me. And Mikey gave me the detail, and we called and we spoke with him. Well, we know about Kishu. Kishu gave everything that he has, and the more he gave, the more he had. And he's right, because the Bible says if you want to have, you have to give. Give, and it shall be given unto you. People will give. And I remember Kishu was my friend, and we used to speak. Sometimes I used to leave the central bank, and I go to his office at Boardwalk, and we stay there late after work. And I just learned from this guy. And this guy was so philanthropic. This guy had such a view, and he told me why he established the Bay Road, Rams Bay Road, and how Rams Bay Road is different from Boardwalk, and the target, the people that he's targeting, and the kind of people who come. He takes care of them. If you look up to now, even under new management, if you look at Rams Bay Road and Rams Boardwalk and Rams, I'm forgetting the other one, Buckley's, you would notice is 3 different type of products that you have. 3 that target 3 different type of clientele. The Rams Bay Road is the poor, the weak, the powerless. Look at the price structure. Look at the inventory. You will see the difference. When you go into shop, you will see the difference. Look at the ambience. Look at the stock. And Kishu always tell me that the power of his company, the power. You online, please. You are on air. If you're on air, we will take you. Hello, you on air.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Good afternoon.
Peter.
Very good. Talk to me.
Well, boy, I hear you on the note where a lot of people ain't gonna quite understand where you're going.
Very nice. Tell me,
Mr.
come on.
Kishu Randani is a member of the Circus University.
Yes.
Phil Roberts University.
Yes.
This guy has touched every human being in St. Kitts and Nevis
Yes.
body part.
Mm-hmm.
Very good guy. I met Kishu when we used to got some chicken boat, we used to call them, at afternoon before there was no Port Zante, and we had just 3 wharfs.
Yes.
I met Kishu, a little boy in the circus, listening more like them talks at night.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Kishu, Mr. Kishu, all them chicken were coming off the boat's pile. That time he used to pack, he had fridges and so, down on the Bay Road, he used to pack them across there.
Come on, explain to us.
Plan.
Take your time, explain to us. Explain to us.
So, Peter, I told Mr. Kishu, because he had some chicken that come in the warehouse. They were bad. I told Mr. Kishu, you cannot carry these chicken over in the ice plant. He said, no. All the workers on the pier are going to carry home chicken tonight.
Mm-hmm.
God bless this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Peter, this is a man within a man. He have a mind.
Mm-hmm.
And if some of these merchants in Sinkit could take a leaf out of Kishu and down the book, we will have a better Sinkit and Nevis and a better Caribbean. Kishu is an Indian born, but he take care of Kitish and Nivijos just like his own. That's why when I look at his family, I like Shoba. She always tell me, why you always call me daddy name? I say, you don't even understand the mark your daddy make in this country. You understand? Peter, that man, right, used to come to the circus very often. And when he come to the circus, he sit down by Cecil Muller and Robert. And everybody talk to Kishu and he listen to everybody. Right now, you own, they don't want to hear you. They manage to be in government, they don't want to see you, they don't want to hear you. You be one. If I could have dig up Kishu and put back life in him. Don't laugh, Peter, don't laugh. You know where you're going. Don't laugh. But anyway, I call you to tell you that what we have going on here in this country is not nice for us.
Come on,
Peter,
take your
you
time.
never
Talk
done
to me.
that
What are
for
you talking
Richie.
about? What are you talking about?
You see the tree in the circus where we just sit down and
Yes.
sit down by?
Yes.
When last you passed here? I see you on Saturday.
No,
But
I
when last
haven't.
you
I
passed
haven't
down
passed
there?
there for a while because you see, my wife's official parking was by the dental, and now they are building something there, so we have to go and find parking by somewhere
Peter,
else. Yes.
The people them send people down there.
Yes.
Go cut down the tree and say, we are talk too much politics down there.
Why
Down there, the
why are they
politics
cutting
on.
it? Why are they cutting it?
They say we down there talking too much politics.
I don't believe you.
Development and infrastructure in any country.
You mean that's why they're cutting it?
Peter, you hear what I tell you? What you saying that, you know? They don't like criticism. All of them criticism Dr. Timothy Harris.
Uh-huh.
All of them.
What
And
is
that
what
man,
you
he
say about
don't
what you say
know.
about Timothy Harris?
You know, all of them criticize them. How bad he be, how weird he be. How his family, and today,
Uh-huh.
they're in power 3 years.
Uh-huh.
Timothy has made a mark in this country. Way ahead all of them. That's why he jumped down and went against him. He returned all of them. And he will return.
He will.
This country needs somebody who could look out for the poor. And when you go to them, he listen to you and he help however he could help.
But stay there.
He don't go live with them.
Stay there.
Yes,
Could I
please.
ask you a question? Stay there.
Yeah.
But the information, the data shows that Timothy did a lot of giving, but Drew has done the most giving in this country from the time
What
that he
you?
came.
When you want to see giving, come down very strong on your tongue and go around the country. Drew do what? Drew them are hiding from the people.
Well, be
Let
careful.
me give you a perfect example. Marshall is the minister tourism. You understand, Peter?
Uh-huh.
All the ministers are tourism in the list, the Pelican Mall. When you had 2 and 3 ships, they walk down the aisle to Port Zante and meet the merchants them. Tell them what they have in store for them.
Yes.
For the upcoming season and the next season to come. Marshall drive round and go round from Sun, go round, she don't want to see them. That ain't a tourism minister. A tourism minister must come.
Okay, Manas, you have to call me back. Some people are trying to get on the line, okay?
Okay, I will be back.
Yeah, come here. Some people are on the line,
I
yes.
want them to hear me, you know.
Yeah, man,
Because
God
I
bless.
hear me, no one come here.
Yeah, I'll respond. I write down what you say, I'll respond. You on air, please. You on air.
Greetings.
Yeah, greetings. You on air.
Greetings to Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir. Talk to me. We lost him. You are on air. Yes. You on air?
Adrian.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let us get in.
Yes, you are in.
Okay. You hear everybody shouting. Kiss to them come here. Right? and tissue them make the wealth in St.
Yes.
They used to go around with suitcase
Yes.
and sell from the suitcase.
Yes.
And everything that tissue them own, they own it in St. Kitts.
Yes.
And they build the empire here. And they spread out.
Yes.
Yes, they listen the ordinary man, the poor man.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have done more.
Mm-hmm.
They could have done more.
Mm-hmm.
All when people were going to St. Martin and Theatre to shop,
Mm-hmm.
Ramsden could have sell this food and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
That stop the money were going out and sink it to go Theatre and St. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yes.
When they want to have sale, you only got sale, the thing, the only value you know, for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
The lifespan is about 2 days.
Yes.
That a good for the people you love.
Yeah, I'm writing it down. I'll respond to you. I'm taking some notes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now we teach you them. If you carry provision by teach you them who sell them, you not get pay until they don't sell your goods.
Yes.
How you could ever go up pay who you are when you carry with a 2 bag of potato, 5 bag of potato? It never used to be so.
Yes.
When you go where you goods them, they check them out and they sort them out. Once they good, bam, you get your check and you get your money.
Yes.
But today you go, they must sell you things before you get paid.
Yes.
The Chinese man now when you go to Chinese man, the Chinese man where you go then pay right away.
Yes.
So you go pay a light bill, you go pay whatever you want.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When people talk here and be honest.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes.
Me, Elroy,
Yes.
and Mr. Harris was 2 good friends. Cause he was in the party with me. And when he used to come by me who have meeting in the market.
Mm-hmm.
And me talk to him. And me tell him, look, this relationship with you and Pam and whoever else not gonna last. And he could tell anybody that me tell him that.
Yes.
I tell him he ain't gonna last. I say if your parents bang you, the best thing you do go back home and beg your parents pardon. And set back yourself in your family. But when you go with your parents' enemy, you doom. And this is what happened. If Timothy been listen, Timothy been farmer party as he own, he'll be still around government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
understand what I tell you?
Yes.
But agent, I want to see you in person.
Let me tell you. Well, take my number. Take my number.
You know me? No. You take my number.
Okay. Give me your number.
661.
So, sorry.
1065.
661
1065.
1065. Okay. What's your name?
My name is Elroy. You know me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Elroy,
You
I'm
know
going.
me.
Okay, I'm going to bookmark you and I'll shout you. Okay.
Yes.
And we'll arrange a meeting. Man, thanks very much, man.
Yes.
And I'll respond to what you're saying there because we don't have very much time. But let me
Yes.
respond to you and the fella before you. Thank you very
Yes.
much for calling.
Yeah.
Now let me just say something. Okay, fine. So you on air? You on air, please?
Yes, good afternoon, the coach.
Good afternoon.
Carl Brown here. And good afternoon to the listeners home and abroad.
Thank you very much, Carl.
A question.
Yes.
Now, all these Caribbean governments know a very long time ago, since in Donald Trump's first term, that his intention was to deport all illegals.
That's correct.
Now, why is it that they now slacking and lacking behind and don't have no proper organization to accept the citizens?
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Because Donald Trump one term, he lost, he was out for a term, he come back, he's in for another term, and you still ain't prepared?
Mm-hmm.
The Caribbean governments, them is sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And they still ain't wake up to now. Now, here's the thing. They want to rush now to say they want to be preparing to accept the nationals, but you ain't prepared for all the long employment line that you have here at home. So how are you going to prepare to accept those that are being sent to you?
That's the point. Very nice. Very nice. I'm writing it down. That's very nice. Continue.
Yeah, because our unemployment, look, September just gone. We have about 5,000 young people out of school and colleges. We have people coming back from university and colleges. No work, no opportunities.
We'll talk about that in detail, because I have done some research on that and I am waiting for the budget. When we do the budget discussion, we are going to discuss employment because I have the data. We'll discuss employment, we'll discuss the economy, and we'll discuss the taxation and the policy. A lot of those information, I'm leaving them for the budget. Continue.
Yeah, I am waiting for when they're going to have the next budget session because they want ideas from the general public. Mm-hmm. And I hope it will be very soon because I would like to attend because this is one of the things I'm going to draw to the government. Mm-hmm. What plans is in the budget to decrease the unemployment line for next year?
Very nice. That's excellent. Now, I could answer that because I have done the research on that. But, Carl, I am not going to answer it. And you know why? I'm deliberately not answering it. I want to respond to what is it that they say they will do in the budget.
Yeah. The other thing is the government talking over 3 years now of all these big projects that are to come, all these investors, and the term nearly
Ritz-Carlton. Yes.
We have not seen anything. So how are you going to prepare to accept 200 returning nationals up to about almost 10,000 people ain't working? How are you going to deal with that and your term almost end?
Yeah, but the only thing is, Carl, you have to give them a chance because it is kind of 2 years. So this budget is very critical. There are two critical budgets, the penultimate one before election and the one in election year. So this one is critical. So that is why I don't want to criticize them now. I want to hear what they have to say first.
And you see this budget? This budget is the most important budget in the term.
In fact, I said this budget is going to be one of the greatest challenge of any Labour Party that have ever been in power.
Yeah, because next year you're going into campaign mode.
Yes, sir.
So this budget better be excellent.
Let me tell you something. Unfortunately, this budget is taken at a time when things are very rough.
Yes, that's why I say you have to be excellent because you're going as the carnival over is campaign mood,
That is the point, sir. It is what we call in sports home run. Home run.
This is the home run.
So
this is the home run now you got to hit to win.
So Carl, I want you to want you to pardon me that I can answer you, but I'm not going to answer you with that. But I said I have reserved those discussions to the budget. I hope you understand that.
Yes.
Okay.
Gone.
Thanks, man. Thanks very much. Now let me respond to. Let me respond to. There are three of them I need to respond to. Carl, I have left that research to the budget. We don't have very much time. I think it is now 2:56. We have just about 4 minutes. You are listening to Freedom FM 106.5. We are broadcasting out of Sugar City, St. Kitts. This is Issues with Coach Adrian. We are discussing creating an enabling environment for the resettling and reassimilating of our returnees who are labeled deportees, which connotes criminals, and what the government can do and what the market can do. And this is, let me just respond to the issue on Kisu. I came here in 1991, so I would not claim to know Kisu as well as my many callers and the people who actually dealt with him. When I came in, I did a lot of farming, but I did not sell. While I was at the central bank, I had my farm. I did not sell to Rams. I've never sold to Rams. I sold to Best Buy, and Best Buy was one of my best buyers. I supplied them. I supplied both Best Buy, St. Kitts, and Nevis. And basically, Best Buy paid me well, and they paid me what was the receivable period. The receivable period was about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I don't know what it was at Rams, what the gentleman says. One thing that I know in discussion with Kishu, because I became a friend of Kishu from the time I came in 1991. In fact, 3 persons, I must confess, who helped settle me very well in St. Kitts was Sidney Morris from Keyon, very good friend of mine, and Richard Keynes. Richard Keynes, I used to go by Keynes on Princess Street, I think, and we used to go under his house. There is people don't know, right under the floor there, and we go there. And this man was a guru in finance, and he don't have all the certificate that you have, but you couldn't touch him. And in the central bank, we had great respect for him, and then he could manage finance very well. And Kishu taught me one thing, that Kishu taught me how he segmented the market, from Bay Road and that of Boardwalk. Bay Road, he catered for the poor. And yet, although he catered for the poor, it did not, the quality of the products was not inferior at Bay Road. Now, mind you, some people still believe that the quality of the product is inferior at Bay Road. I'm telling you, you are wrong, because I do most of my shopping at Bay Road. Bay Road is very good. In fact, Bay Road has greater stock, larger stock than Boardwalk and Buckley's. And but the thing is that the price level, the price setting is different at Bay Road. And Kishut always said to me that it is the poor people who get you rich. And he put a lot back into the community. I remembered also through him, I established what it was, a food program, food stamp program called, voucher program called Mingling. And then I would buy, say if I buy $10,000 worth of vouchers, the vouchers were into different denominations. You could get $100 voucher, $200, $300 voucher. All these things were distributed before Timothy came, and Timothy opened the welfare system, giving people $500 and this and that. And because a lot of those persons that Timothy, Dr. Harris netted were part of Mingling, then in a sense that kind of virtually killed Mingling. So a lot of the Mingling funds, we use it for particular targeting people who are distressed and so and so. But the food voucher, it does not really exist, whatever. And what Rams would do, if I buy 10,000, they would throw in 2,000. And things like that. And you cannot touch Kishu. You know, there are some people who pass the Caribbean. They have touched our lives, and it will never be the same again. And Kishu is one of them in St. Kitts. In St. Lucia is a fellow called John Compton. Now, I never vote for John Compton. I never liked Compton. I used to tell him that he used to keep his meeting at my father's home and whatever. But I just love this man. I learned to love this man. And this man was great. He was a visionary. And in fact, we say it in St. Lucia. St. Lucia died with Compton. Now, you are listening to Freedom FM 106.5, and this is where we stop our program. We are very thankful for your contribution, for those who have called. I'm sorry I was not able to respond to all of them. Elroy, I'm going to call you. I'm going to have your number. I'm going to call you. I want to let you know that next week we begin our discussion on the IMF World Economic Outlook. I think we would do about 2 talk shows about it, and we are hoping that we can relate it, although the IMF World Economic Outlook is per region, but we'll try to make a comparison in the second talk show on what is happening economically in St. Kitts. Thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. See you next week. Same time, same place. This is Coach Adrian saying bye-bye.